Morning, welcome to my Tireside Chat. As I start these videos off, per usual, it's been a while since I've made one of these videos. I thought, since nobody cares about crypto right now, it'd be the best possible time for me to make a video about it with an update. So we kind of had a bullish week this week, the first week of January 2026. Some of the altcoins that were down horribly, which, remember this for next year, of course it depends on, really that should be every year. I was going to say it depends on how the market is in general. If it's really bullish, then it might not be the case so much, but everybody, including myself, was tax harvesting at the last minute on December 31st, selling off some of their alts or whichever crypto they were down on to show some losses to the IRS, which many of us, the vast majority of us common folk in the crypto trading markets, definitely saw some losses last year. Some devastating losses, some of us. Do we want to sit here and gripe and complain about 2025 and what that brought after the year before? All those people in all the crypto Discord channels that I was in who were so stoked about President Trump coming into office, and he was going to do such great things for cryptocurrency, and where the markets were in December of 24, where my portfolio was, man, wouldn't even know how good we had it. And then like January 20th, 19th, 20th, Trump gets inaugurated and starts launching his meme coins, and it was kind of all downhill from there. I mean, unless you were just holding Bitcoin and ETH, and maybe Solana, some of the top five, and not paying attention to any other alts, and then you got out at the right time, you took profits when you were supposed to, which is, that's the key thing. As many of us have now learned very well the hard way. It wasn't a good year for most of us. Unless, like I said, you were holding one of those like top fives and being smart about it. And taking profits. But all those people, and I was skeptical. In hindsight, it's easy to say I should have trusted my instincts more. I should have, aligned my investment strategy with my political thinking. Dude, what are you doing? 42 miles an hour getting on the freeway. Go, jackass. Welcome back to my channel. This is me, if you haven't met me. Oh, really? Now you want to get over? No. Too bad. You're welcome. Back to my original point. Everyone was tax harvesting on December 31st. So what does that mean? The first week of January, people were buying back in. Bitcoin went from 88,000 back up to, I think it touched 93 for a bit there. People got all excited about that. That was like Monday of this week, which, what would that have been? The 5th? Some of the altcoins that I follow were up 20, 5+% beginning of this week. They've since come back down quite a bit. I haven't looked at CoinMarketCap yet this morning. I haven't. I got out mostly. My portfolio really started dumping, I think, like November. I'm mostly just holding Bitcoin, some cash, and a couple of projects that I'm invested in, because I think they're great projects. Really, one in particular. Two. The second one, I probably need to put more money into. I could just, which was the strategy that I had last cycle. I found a good project that I really believed in, and I invested heavily into that, and it worked out well. I just didn't take as much profits as I should have in December of 2024, which should have been shoulda, woulda, coulda. I don't want to say too much, but it was a considerable amount of money. I took some profits, yeah, and there were other benefits. It's not like I got nothing out of it, but I could have done a lot better. And so lessons learned. The other big things is, to really drill in is don't do everything that people on YouTube say, which, I was already kind of following that logic, but it's hard it's really difficult to be logical when you see your portfolio over the course of a year go up 10 or 15x, and there's digits added, there's zeros added to what your original investment was, and everybody is telling you that it's going to go up 5 or 10x from there, 4x from there, even if you're not doing a great job, which is where we were in December of 24. And then watching it go down. I vividly remember watching it go down when it was down 30% by the end of that January, like a year ago now, or something. I remember looking at my Coinbase account and thinking, I lost a zero. Well, but not pulling the trigger on saying, like, you know what, I should just get out, cut what losses, I'm still like way ahead. You're like hoping that, this is just temporary, people think it's gonna come back, don't worry. Even with everything that was going on, it's stupid. But hey, at least I'm sure there were people out there that took out loans and used it to buy crypto. Anyways, that's all ancient history. Now all we can do is learn from our mistakes and move forward. Which I say that, and it reminds me of this one crypto influencer. His channel, his videos still pop up for me every once in a while. I don't remember, is it Crypto Galaxy or something? I'm not remembering properly. It's probably, apologies to Crypto Galaxy if that's not you. As if he's gonna watch my channel. But yeah, the guy always starts off his videos with, I've been investing in crypto for 10 years. But it makes it sound like he's never really made any real money. So, I mean, like, if you've been doing this for 10 years and you haven't done very well, are people listening to you? If you're not listening, if you're not learning from your own mistakes. I've been doing this 4 years now. I must be slow to learn from my mistakes. But I'd like to think after everything I've been through, I mean, I had made a lot of mistakes early on. Looking back, there's some like obviously dumb things where, you know, now it's like, I can't believe I did that. But I was never really an investor in anything before this. You know, and here having started in my early 40s. And if you met me in my 20s, I wasn't even good with money. I couldn't even manage my own budget, you know, with a paycheck and like paying credit cards. Yeah, my ex-wife was doing that for me. She was managing all of our money. It wasn't until after I split up with her in my 30s that I started even doing my own budget. But, so, in a lot of ways, I guess what I'm saying is I'm still kind of like a 27-year-old. Yeah. Financially. So where are we now? Where do we go from here? Again, I've done some tax harvesting, which is good. I'm expecting to claim a lot of losses on my taxes this year. Hopefully that'll make up for some of last year. I have a CPA who's fantastic that I've been working with for 4 or 5 years now. Well worth having a CPA. For what he charges me, he's worth his weight in gold. Him and he's got a team, actually. It's an office of like 4 people. The guy who's my CPA, he's been a CPA for 20 years or 30 years, and before that, he was an auditor, not for the IRS, but the corporate auditor, and for like decades before that. So the guy knows his stuff, and he helped me a lot just in getting set up, because I set up a corporation that I was doing all of my crypto mining under, and you know, trying to leverage that in as many ways as possible, as best as possible, which you really can, and I'd highly recommend for, you know, what was involved. So I've done that, and then, you know, we're looking at the markets and everything right now. I still think we're finally at a point. I think what we were waiting for all last year, and I don't know if this is even going to be true anymore, but I mean, as far as altcoins go, you know, we've all seen the chart where it's like the flow of money into the crypto markets, where it's like Bitcoin goes for phase 1, Bitcoin first, phase 2, Ethereum pumps, phase 3, mid caps, phase 4, small caps, altcoins. And that's how the cycle works every 4 years. That didn't really happen this last time. I mean, it did and it didn't. We did have the Bitcoin halving in 2024. Now that was it was a year and a half, 2 years ago, you know, and that's what it was. The cycle every 4 years, Bitcoin would have, and then there'd be maybe a lull, but then it would pump. I'd have to go back and look at the charts, and sorry I don't have that for you, but I think it actually turned out to kind of be true, but we didn't get, and if you look at 2024, I mean, we did have a surge in alts. And Ethereum eventually kind of pumped this last year in 25, and followed Bitcoin. It just didn't really trickle down to mid caps and micro caps so much. They did better in 24, and I think there is a lot to say about macroeconomics and those effects on the market, with everything that happened with the Trump administration and their direct intervention into the markets, and again, those meme coins, and really just he did a great job of showing typical, common investors who were, regular Joes in 2021 who jumped into crypto, the retail market who jumped into crypto. Trump did a great job of showing them that crypto is just a scam. I think probably just, turned a lot of people off to it. Didn't do anyone any favors. And, the same people in this crypto communities that I was talking about in 2024 in the lead up to the election, who were cheering for Trump and all the great stuff he was going to do and how we were all going to be rich, have since been, I think, cursing him. Rightfully so, as I was cursing him during the elections and before that, and all the way back to 2016. Not to bring politics into it, but it's relevant. So the Fed has started quantitative easing to the tune of $40 billion a month. We have the stock market just hit all-time highs this week. I think everything is there for risk-on assets to start pumping again. So I think, there's some definite manipulation going on with Bitcoin. But at this point, I'm waiting for... I haven't been checking it as frequently as I first was a couple of months ago, but I've been using ChatGPT to help me manage my moves, and which kind of keeps... It's kind of like having not a financial advisor, but just someone there to check you, and that has been like this last week when I saw over the weekend, I was like, oh, such Solana's pumping, or this is pumping, it went up 10% yesterday, I should jump back in. And it's like, well, yeah, but all the market indicators show that we're not really, until we start forming higher lows and the market really shows signs of recovery, this is probably just temporary. Maybe you should hold off. Don't be emotional. Don't jump in. You might regret it later. And then when it does pump, then you're going to be, questioning this and that and all the psychology behind it. I think it's... So I've been holding off and waiting for the right moment to jump back in. But I think it should be really obvious when it is the right moment. Namely, waiting for Bitcoin to start forming higher lows. And if it gets back up to the 98,000, and if we break 100,000, and there's a fever pitch again, then we know, things are back, and then it's really time to start thinking, okay, where am I going to put it? What's going to pump first? How to spread out your investments. On the other hand, one good decision I did these past few years was put money into silver, and so, precious metals, gold, too. So I was buying silver. I was buying quite a bit of silver when it was $18, and that hit $80 this week. So that's nice. I didn't. In hindsight, I wish I had bought more. I think the precious metals right now obviously are a hedge against global geopolitics, instability, uncertainty, which we've been seeing a little of lately. So that's the other side of quantitative easing and the Fed pumping money back into the economy and whatever the hell else is going to happen in 2026, probably a good time to have some gold and silver to fall back on, because who knows how bad inflation is going to get. I feel sorry for people who don't have the means to do that or the foresight, and are just relying on their paychecks, and God only knows how much prices are going to shoot up this year. Even if the government says, oh, inflation's at 2.8%, I don't take that with a fat grain of salt. Anyway, I'm going to get inside to work. It's been a pleasure. Top of the morning to you. Have a good one.